was a new horror movie directed by Scott Dickerson starring Ethan Hawke. In this movie, Ethan Hawke plays this child murderer known only as the Grabber. He does about what you think he might do. He poses as a magician, finds these kids, abducts them, throws them in this van, locks them into a basement. One day he abducts this young boy named Finney, throws him into the basement, and basically just toys with this kid. Frequently comes into the basement wearing different masks you could guess for different moods, messing with the idea with Finney, like, oh, I might let you go, but I might also kill you. On the outside of it all, Finney's sister Gwen is having these sort of sixth sense type of dreams and visions where she's seeing not only what her brother might be dealing with, but what previous victims might have gone through with the Grabber, and also potentially where the Grabber might be hiding, so she believes with her gift, maybe she can help the police ultimately save her brother. And while Finney is being held by the Grabber in his basement, he notices a black phone in this basement that he's been told by the Grabber does not work. What he soon begins to realize, however, is whenever this black phone rings and he answers it, he starts receiving calls from the spirits of the Grabber's previous victims that are going to try to help him survive this ordeal and maybe, just maybe, even escape. I like Scott Dickerson a lot as a director. I really enjoyed the first Doctor Strange. I didn't see Sinister until long after it was released, when the hype really died down, and when I saw it I wasn't terrified of it. I was really disturbed by it and very shocked by it, but I wasn't horrified. I mean, maybe I'm finally getting better with horror movies in my old age, but it didn't like traumatize me. But it was a very well done and very disturbing kind of horror movie. It definitely stays with you. That's for sure. So I was interested to see him and Ethan Hawke reunite for a new horror movie. And what they brought us with the black phone is by far and away, I think, the best horror movie released so far this year. This is a really fucking good horror movie. Let's discuss the cast in this movie. Everyone across the board does a really good job, but I really want to touch on the kid actors first and foremost. Kid actors are maybe the biggest risk to put into a horror movie because kid actors, A, aren't the best in general. When you put them into a horror movie, that can easily be the kiss of death right there. Because if a kid actor can't sell you on the horror element in this horror movie, the horror movie's gonna be shit. If they can, the horror movie's only gonna be that much better. The kid acting in The Black Phone is, without question, the best kid acting I have seen in a horror movie since It. These kids are really fucking good at what they do. For starters, I really like the character of Finney. He's the kind of kid that I think is perfect for a role like this, because before he even gets abducted, he's shy, he's nervous, he's afraid to stand up to bullies. He has plenty of opportunities where he could defend himself or defend others, and he really doesn't. He just doesn't feel in his heart that he's strong enough to do anything. But what I really love seeing when he is ultimately taken in by the Grabber, it is his will to live. He's not prepared to just roll over and die and be like, well, this is it, I'm not getting out of here, he's gonna kill me, I'm the next victim. Immediately, he wants to escape. He wants to live. He's like, I'm not just going to stay here and let this guy do whatever he wants to do to me. Also, I really like the relationship with his sister. They felt like they had a really good brother-sister bond. They kind of felt like they were friends and not just siblings, which I also thought was really good. It worked for the movie. But I like what they did with her sixth sense kind of ability, rather than her just being, this scared sister who's afraid for her lost brother. She's taking more charge. She's trying to understand her gift a little bit more. She's not doing what virtually every other kid would do in this situation, which is just sit back and let the police handle things. She's like, no, I think my gift could actually help do something that the police can't. But let's touch on Ethan Hawke. I'm going to reference It once again. Ethan Hawke in this movie plays the creepiest motherfucker I've seen in a horror movie since Pennywise. This guy is a disturbing piece of shit. You see, he's not just abducting these kids and then just killing them. He's playing this really sick, twisted game with them the whole time. It's like, he's bringing them food, he's keeping them alive. He doesn't want to just kill them and be done with it. He has this really elaborate, sick game that he's playing with these kids to make them suffer, to torture them more, to give them false hope. It's like, don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you, I'm going to give you the chance to leave, and then it's like, oh, you did the thing that you were obviously going to do anyway, because that's a smart thing to do, but guess what, now I won't let you go, now you're going to die. But what I really do appreciate is he never quite can gauge what his motives are. It's like, does he want to kill them? Is he just really disturbed human being who wants something different? And that's what I appreciate with his various masks that come into play. You know, whenever he comes to see Finney in the basement, he's always wearing a different mask, and each one exhibits a different kind of emotion. Someone could argue that those masks exhibit how he's feeling in that moment. If he's feeling happy, or if he feels sad, or disappointed, or angry. If there's one area that I wish we could have got a little more with in Ethan Hawke as the Grabber, it's really more of his origin. Why does he wear these masks? What is the point of them? Where does he come from, really? But I will say, I guess with horror movies, you're not really meant to be that focused on the monster or the villain of the movie. They're just there to freak you out, and he does that. Also, I really love the supernatural element that's in this movie. In this case, when Finney is in this basement, and that phone rings and he answers it, he's on the phone with the dead kids that have been victimized by the Grabber, and they're trying to get him out of it. It's just a long line of kids saying like, I have this, I have done this, there's this in the basement that might be able to help you. Even though all these characters aren't alive anymore, they play such a massive role in ultimately what becomes Finney's character development in this movie. I also really loved, I thought was a really nice detail that they had in this movie, is whenever he is on the phone with these kids, he never sees the kids. We see the kids as ultimately what, you know, they were when they died. But whenever he's on the phone, and whenever we see them, we hear the kids as if it's through the phone. I thought it was a really clever yet subtle detail that the movie didn't necessarily have to do, but it really worked and it really made it better. Also, like I said before, this movie is incredibly intense. It's really fucking disturbing, and it is scary. I mean, this isn't just every child's worst nightmare. This is everybody's worst nightmare. Just imagine this kind of situation. This insane, scary motherfucker just grabs you, locks you in a basement, and you have absolutely no idea what's going to happen to you. The movie knew exactly when to play the kind of tension that it needed for the movie to make you feel that type of way. And at no time did it fail. When it wanted to be suspenseful, it gave you that. When it wanted to be scary, it gave you that. It's also not a very predictable horror movie either, you know? When you watch this movie and you start seeing what's going on, you start thinking in your head, it's like, is this kid gonna get out of there? Or is this kid gonna be able to do what these other kids failed to do and beat this guy? You're rooting like hell for this kid to achieve that, but you really don't know in light of everything that goes wrong in this movie. And just about everything that can go wrong for this kid in this movie happens. There genuinely was a point where I was sitting there and I'm just like, is he gonna make it out of this? This movie keeps you on the edge of your seat for the entire duration of the movie. There's really no point where I felt like I could just breathe, like, okay, it's over, the tension's gone, I can at least relax for a minute. There's really nothing like that. Even if the movie isn't like terrifying through and through, it never stops being suspenseful. So all in all, The Black Phone, this was fucking great. Ethan Hawke gives, I think, his best performance in a movie in a very long time. I like seeing him in these horror movies, whether he's the villain or really, I guess, the protagonist of the story. Either way, he's been crushing in the horror movies with Scott Dickerson. If the two of them want to keep this tandem going, I think they could continue to make some great horror movies. The kid acting across the board is fantastic. I thought Finney was a great lead character for this. You're rooting like hell for him to get out of this. You're rooting like hell for his sister Gwen to try to save him in any way that she can. The movie's not as predictable as you might think it would be. The movie is suspenseful throughout it. It's scary when it wants to be scary. It's wicked intense when it wants to be intense. It's the type of movie that has replay value to it. It's not like a horror movie that you watch, you're like, okay, I made it through it, I don't need to see it again. This movie definitely has some replay value. 100% it does. And in the end, I know we got a few other highly anticipated horror movies for some people that are coming along the way this year, but The Black Phone has set a very high bar. I can promise you that. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. And as always, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.